Collapse 2042. Chapter 7. The Park. Eve woke her Mopar V8. She greeted her with a warm, pristine chuffle. Power plant purring, Eve pulled them out from cover. Propelled by the breathy snort, they rolled gently back down Wrights Hill. Fast broken beats filled the car. Two-step kicks syncopated between bright, even snares. A break came in the beat. Eve spun the volume dial high in anticipation. The modified Motorola 8-track stereo easily providing the requested power. Massive bouncing bass stabs rumbled aggressively through them. Subwoofers mounted in the trunk. The baffled speaker cabinet cleanly reproduced quick, complex, sonorous rhythms. The bass line dropped deep, down several octaves. Pent-up staccato tension released into the sub-bass realm. Low-frequency oscillation vigorously vibrating the Chrysler chassis as it descended. A blue light blinked patiently in the center console. Eve activated her heads-up display. Blake's view impeded by the windshield's polarized glass.
Needs a pound.
Eve's tone barely concealed her urgency.
We're off to the well then. It's been a while.
The Taniwha had cleared and blasted a route down from the den, up onto the quake-elevated plateau of Porneki. The road took them under dense, bush-clad hills, then twisted high up a huge seismic cliff face that led to the plateau. The narrow path, debris anchored in place, wound up into an old tunnel. Opening out into a series of crumbling terraces, the track now tightly hugged the descending ridgeline. Steep drop-offs loomed ominously as they zigzagged down into the Aro Valley. The valley ended, opening up into a large, circular interchange. Eve hooked sharply to the right, back up towards Central Park, the market village at the base of Brooklyn Hill.
Guy, you're to run.
Eve took them into a vast corrugated steel hangar, arched over the foundations of ruined council flats. Entering onto an interior loop road, Eve veered off into the central parking lot. She pulled into a lay-by beside the netted wire fence that enclosed the yard.
I'll be back.
Leaving the engine to idle, Eve grabbed her jacket, opened her door, and jumped out. Dank diesel fumes seeped in, trapped as her door clunked closed. Blake flicked on the aircon and scanned the building. Scattered around the apron of the Horseshoe taxiway, transport vehicles stationed loading gates while traders inspected goods. Multiple convoys, marked by Enclave, mingled with local loading vehicles. Eve disappeared between them. Reappearing, Eve had found her mark. Across the half-empty car park, Blake watched as she approached an unmarked Bedford lorry, wooden crates loaded low on the flat deck. The driver climbed out. Eve waved, and they briefly embraced. Blake aware of her periphery as the pair discussed business. A Raiden convoy entered the building. Flaming red dragons' heads emblazoned their sides. Weaponry retracted, the transports docked. Turreted hatchbacks surrounded them, scanning the vicinity from their domes. Eve opened her door. The smell of diesel again permeated the car's interior. There was a whir as Eve's door closed. She took a small parcel from her leather jacket and concealed it in the trap behind her seat.
Purr. Click. Safe as houses.
Blake smirked. The antiquated expression no longer conveyed security. Eve looked out at the Raiden vehicles, coldly assessing the threat.
Better move.
She put the car into gear and taxied out the exit, returning to the open concrete roundabout. It sat at the tip of a hairpin junction that linked Central Park, the Den, the Well, and the way out onto Poneke Plateau. Wellington, drowned by the rising ocean, had been smashed hundreds of metres up out of the sea a decade earlier. The derelict city hung out to dry in a relentless, raging gale. They came to rest at Junction's edge, in the lee of a semi-standing hotel that provided poor protection from the intense winds. A farm supply convoy wound slowly up the Ofiro track behind them, twisting over the ridge road above Central Park, en route to the Well. Eve paused. She prepared them to cross the windswept wasteland of Poneke.
You like taking risks. Want beat my record?
The mighty V8 roared. Eve dropped the clutch in third, engine overpowering the tyre's traction. The Charger gently fishtailed off concrete onto gravel. They disappeared. Thick blue rubbery smoke signalling their departure.